weekly Torah reading, Shoftim, which means judges. In every generation, says Moses, there will be those entrusted with the task of interpreting and applying the laws of the Torah, according to the law that they will teach you, and the judgment they will instruct you, you shall do. You shall not turn away from the thing that they say to you, to the right, nor to the left. Moses instructs the people of Israel to appoint judges and law enforcement officers in every city. Justice shall you pursue, he commands them, and you must administer it without corruption or favoritism. Crimes must be meticulously investigated and evidence thoroughly examined. A minimum of 2 credible witnesses is required for conviction and punishment. So we see Moses continues his last speech to the Israelites before he died, saying, again, judges shall be appointed to judge the people with justice. You shall not twist judgment by recognizing a face or accepting bribery, because both blind the eyes of the wise and cause the words of the righteous to falter. Justice shall you pursue, again, so that you may live and take possession of the land which Yehua, your Elohim, is giving you. If you find an individual who does evil in the eyes of Yehua and transgresses Yahuwah's covenant, then you shall make careful inquiry. If it turns out to be true according to the word of 2 or 3 witnesses, then that person shall die. No one shall be put to death on the basis of the word of only 1 witness. If the matter is too difficult for you to decide between blood and blood, between right and right, between damage and damage, then you shall come to the priest for judgment. The priests, the Levites, all the tribes of Levi shall have no portion or inheritance. They shall eat the fire offerings to Yehua, the first of your grain and oil, and drink your new wine, because Yehua chose this tribe to serve in the name of Yehua forever. When you are in the land that Yehua is giving you, do not learn their evil ways. You shall have no one among you pass your son or daughter through fire, nor listen to soothsayers, interpreters of omens, sorcerers, or charmers. These are abominations to Yehua. And then Moses continued by saying, a prophet from among your brethren like myself will Yehua raise up for you. To him you shall hearken. Then Yehua will put words into this prophet's mouth so that he may speak them to the people. But if the prophet speaks wantonly in Yahuwah's name or speaks in the name of other gods, that prophet shall die. And if he asks, how can we recognize a word that Yahuwah has not spoken? If it is spoken in the name of Yahuwah and does not come true, then Yahuwah has not spoken that word and the prophet has spoken it wantonly. You shall not be afraid of him. When you dwell in the promised land, you shall separate out 3 cities, and they shall serve as a refuge for murderers. These cities are only for the murderer who kills his neighbor unintentionally and without hate. For in the heat of the moment, this murderer could be killed, even though the initial crime was an accident. This will prevent innocent blood from being shed in the promised land. Do not move your boundary marker of your neighbor from those set by inheritance. Shoftim also includes the prohibitions against idolatry and sorcery, laws governing the appointment and behavior of a king, and guidelines for the creation of cities of refuge. To the inadvertent murderer also set forth are many of the rules of war. The exemption from one battle for one who has just built a home, planted a vineyard, married, or is afraid and soft-hearted. The requirement to offer terms of peace before attacking a city, and the prohibition against wanton destruction of something of value, exemplified by the law that forbids to cut down a fruit tree when laying siege. In this context, the Torah makes the famous statement, "For man is a tree of the field." Again, if a slain person is found fallen in the field, you must find the city closest to the slain man, and the elders of that city shall sacrifice a young calf, and blessing by the priest shall be made over it. The elders shall then say prayers for atonement. You must put away the innocent blood from your midst by doing that which is right in the eyes of Yehua. And so we give honor and praise unto Yehua for baruching us to be able to understand some of the workings of the judges that we have covered today. May he grant you a week of peace, joy, and righteous judgment. Amen.